when you start using Flutter, there is one thing that is essential that you understand how it works, and that thing is the Flutter CLI, the command line interface, because it helps you do some really important and useful tasks. For example, you may have seen the command doctor, Flutter doctor, that help you understand and analyze at what point your installation of Flutter is at. And you can use the same command line interface to use other commands. For example, how to create, you can use it to create a new project, or you can use it to run the tests and download packages, things like that, for example. So let's see, let's have a quick look how it works. For example, let's suppose that we want to create a new project, for example, and to do so we have to type Flutter create and the name of the project, my project, for example. It will take a little bit of time. As you can see, it is creating our project, sorry. And for example, you can even run your application as it says here. In order to run your application, type cd my project and Flutter run. So now let's enter into our project. As you can see, now we are inside our project. If you want to know more about how this command line interface works, you can find more about it into the documentation, and there is this sheet here, the Flutter command line tool, and there are all the commands that you can use. For example, you can use emulators that will list all the emulators that you have in your machine. So now let's type code, because actually I'm using Visual Studio Code, but you can use whatever one you want. I think that the only two compatible are Visual Studio Code and the other one that is Android Studio, and I'm not pretty sure if you can directly install Flutter using only Visual Studio Code, because at least before it was that you had first to download Android Studio, and then since you have to create some emulators, so this was an essential process, and then you was able to install it, install the extensions in Visual Studio Code and run Flutter in that place. Okay, so here I have our project, and those are all the files that are that when you run the create, it will obviously create for you. So here is the test folder where you will put all the test files that you want to use for your project, and then let's see these folders here. You have the Android folder that is automatically created for you, and it contains all the essential information about the Android version of your application, and iOS is the same thing for the iOS version. Since I will use only Android, so I'm really concerned only into this, but I may give you some information about the iOS version too. So usually you will not have to touch any of this. It depends, because maybe you may need to touch them in order to make, for example, some changes, or for example if you want to install some packages, you may want to change things inside this this folder or this one. And then this is the main folder where we have to put our files. And we have this is a git file. If you know git, what it is a git in your, and it puts all the default things that you may want to ignore. And we have other files, for example this one, but these files are I don't think that you have to use those files. As you can see here, should not be manually edited. And now let's see one important file, and the file is this one, the pubspec.yaml. Here you have the name of your project, the description, and essentially this file contains all the main things about your project. For example, the name, as you can see, and it is essential because it will contain all the, let's say, the configuration part of your project. For example, the version that will show up when you create your APK or bundle, and for example SDK version, etc. So here you put all your dependencies that you want to install, your packages that you will find, for example, into the pub.dev website, and here all your development dependencies that are dependencies that only work on a development environment, so it will not be bundled into the final file that you will publish into the Play Store. And here you can, for example, add your assets. For example, here you can add an asset folder, and remember that every time you add a new file that is not listed, for example a new asset, let's create an asset folder, you have to declare this here, or for example a font, etc, etc. As you can see here, you have a simple example. You have to do something like this: type assets and put the name of the folder. For example, this would be assets because we have created asset, not assets, but and the name of the file, obviously. So let's put this back here. Let's delete this folder here, and essentially that's it for the project structure, let's say. And you will start from here, and you will go into your main.dart file, and here essentially you have the main application. But sorry, I forgot to say one important thing. Here, when you add something or delete something, then when you save, it will run a command, the Flutter pub-get. But if it doesn't, you can run it manually with Flutter pub-get. As you can see now, is trying to get all the packages that you have added to the pubspec.yaml. And let's return back here. As you can see here, we have a default. Every time that you use the command create, they will put this default structure here. And in order to run this little project, you can use you have either two ways: or run it into a physical device by connecting it and enabling the development mode, or you can, if you have already installed it, download it and install it using the Android Studio, you can click here in the bottom right corner into no device, and as you can see, it says select a device to use it. For example, I can click here and it will run my device. So this is the device, and now if I go here and I can press F5, or I can go here and click run and debug. We have to wait a little bit, and it will run our project here in the terminal, in the emulator. As you can see, this is our application running. These are the basic applications that you have, and usually they show this the hot reload feature, that if you change something here, it updates here without losing the state. As you can see here, I still have the number 5, so I will have the same state of before. I don't have to restart everything, but if I want, I can by pressing the restart here. And another thing that I want you to know is how you can build your package. So sometimes you may want to install your application into your physical device without running it into the debug mode. And to do so, what we have to do, we have to type Flutter build APK, and it will build our APK. That is the version that it works for Android. So if you have an iOS, I'm sorry, but I don't really know how it works, since I don't have an Apple computer and I don't have Xcode to run it. And as you can see, after waiting a little bit of time, you will see that it will build your application here, and you will have it essentially in your build folder. Here this build folder that has been generated is generated by Flutter, so usually you don't have to touch it, as far as I know, because it's automatically generated by Flutter. And here, if you go into app outputs Flutter APK, you have your app release here, and it is the same directory that you see here. And that's it for this video. The next time I will show you how basically how Flutter works in general, and I will give you a general overview. And I hope that you like this type of content. If you like it, let me know in the comment section what I can improve about it, if it's good, if the quality of audio and video is good, if I'm clear, etc, etc. So, or maybe let me know if I can do other type of videos and help you understand other things. So please consider to subscribe if you want more things about Flutter, or maybe in about computer science in general. We are really into things like Flutter or even Arduino. I hope to learn one day Arduino, if God wills, inshallah, and things like that. So if you like that type of stuff, you can follow us. So see you the next time.